some of these guys. So he's definitely going to be one of the big dogs to watch out for, I think, on the poll.
Absolutely. But on the other side of the table, Renegades also has Jesus, who really, really breaks out in the control point. That's never going to stop being amusing to me.
I mean,
who really breaks out in the control point, plays a lot of Tracer, locking a Junkrat for now, just to lock something in, probably. But AZK, yeah, he's going to definitely be a big factor here. But I just think there's more weapons for a control point kind of map for Renegades. However, this is Liquid's choice. This is where they wanted to take it. So perhaps they're feeling comfortable, like they've got some sort of thing figured out for Renegades.
ID's singing us a song, and Mezer's just shoving him around inside of the ship off the start.
A moment now, sing me the song of your people.
Please, ID. Well, here we go. It's all tied up 1-1 Nepal to decide it between Renegades and Liquid, the second and third place teams currently in the standings. And both Reinhardts are going to charge each other off the bat. There's biotic grenades everywhere. There's heals and anti-heals scattered throughout this pillar side of the map. But Juvenile will be the first to fall here as AZK is able to take him down. So, Man of Snow goes and falls after that, and should certainly be a Liquid retake in the making right here, as they have that two-player advantage. And now that will be taking it pretty easily. Juvenile goes down again. Mezer having a rough start to this map here himself, but Liquid in total control. Mezer has already built quite a bit towards his Earthshatter.
Renegades perhaps playing that high ground shield war a little bit too aggressively. Liquid backing off, pulling them in, scattering so far. It looked like they kind of had their line broken, but instead they actually just invited Juvenile into their midst, picked him off, turned it back around, got real aggressive on Renegades, and that's going to be Liquid taking the first 25 points off that one exchange. Renegades now trying to take the high ground back away, pushing into Mezer.
Now Earthshatter out from Juvenile. We'll get a few bodies caught up in that. AZK and Mezer both going down, so Liquid definitely getting it taken to him right now by Renegades, as Minstrel is, he's hanging on for dear life. Actually, is kept alive. Jesus getting a hook back on the ID to take care of him, and Minstrel was delaying as long as he could. I think he knew Liquid was probably going to win the fight right there. Another nice hook from Jesus as they snag up Dehang with some good focus fire. So Renegades retaking the point as Liquid getting 48% to kick us off.
Now Liquid with an Earthshatter, a Graviton, Attack Visor, a Sound Barrier moments away. That's a lot of stuff to take it back, especially if we can lead off with IED's Graviton in the right place in this scenario. Trying to pop off the Earthshatter might be a little bit of a problem, but Mangachu's going to respond first.
Graviton's on both sides of the equation. AZK goes down, a hook in from Jesus is, well, that's going to help take down ID as he gets 2 kills for himself right there. So Renegades, nice, good aggressive defense coming out from them, holding up with these chokes, and ID had used his Graviton there, but
that's a problem for them. Mezer still has his Earthshatter. Rafa with a self-destruct. They can pair those together if they can get Juvenile's shield out of the way, but that's a tall order here on this part.
Ooh, Mezer going down right out of the gate, and Renegades with this aggression. Liquid having a tough time dealing with it, certainly is. They need to get themselves back out. Mangachu at full charge too. That is scary, as he will be able to just melt people trying to come through here. But
Renegades doing a great job evacuating Jesus after he got caught all the way there in the back.
Mangachu with random spam just hit Minstrel somehow. That was beautiful. But here we go. Liquid finally have at least gained some ground to try and reinitiate here. AZK picks up Jesus, but Juvenile with 2 for himself, getting to hang in Mezer.
That charge from Juvenile could have gone a very bad way if that had skipped off that post. Renegades taking it back to Liquid here in the front.
Liquid need to get something going right now, as they started off the map great, and they've really just been unable to get themselves back in. Mangachu gets hooked. There's a Graviton that Mangachu will actually lay down onto them. The self-destruct gets to ID AZK, and that will be Renegades with a very strong response after losing the point first. Liquid just couldn't get through the choke.
That was a crafty little play by Liquid to start everything out, whether it was done intentionally or not. But after that, Renegades, they found their footing, they came back, they controlled the point. From that point forward, controlled the front entrance, which there was a lot of times there where it looked like Liquid would have had an opportunity, but a missed ultimate, and perhaps not managing the economy on that quite as well as they could have. And really, the biggest thing is Renegades just managing theirs well and consistently keeping Liquid out of the fight, which is a pretty easy thing to do in a choke point that strong. Even those side paths have to go by the front door, so unless they do something absolutely insane and risky, which is just as bad as the center, it's still going to be playing into Renegade's hands, and Renegade's just not giving him an inch back in, but both teams starting out here on Village, and neither one taking the high ground.
Yeah, they both started off just directly to the point. No Mei on either side, but you do have AZK on Tracer. That's something you want to keep an eye on in this round in particular. Rafa already getting demech'd, and he's going to just be focusing down Juvenile, who's taking a bit of damage, but just getting healed up nicely by Sherlocky. Right back into the mech, and AZK is the first to fall. This Man of Snow finds that kill. They trade out with Juvenile. That's a good kill to get Juvenile, as he was also coming close to his Earth Shatter, so they won't have it for this fight. But Mezzer immediately responded by Jesus, able to take out Mezzer from the fight. So the nano boost onto both Divas, Man of Snow and Rafa, and neither of them doing a whole lot, though. Rafa did take down Jesus, so it's just still a lot of trading back and forth on this point, and Man of Snow just flying around trying to delay as long as he possibly can, but Liquid has commandeered the point, and they will grab it first here to kick us off on Village.
Starting off first again, they have 4, almost 5 ultimates on their side, rather 2 almost 5. Renegades with none yet, but 4 of their own not far away, both burning nano boosts on their Divas in that last fight. And here comes Renegades trying to take the point back, but Rafa's in behind them, and that's going to be a self-destruct landing on the point.
Rafa laying that self-destruct. Nice sleep to keep Rafa alive. He was almost dead meat. He got hooked, but kept alive by a beautiful sleep dart. There is 3 down from Renegades, 2 for Liquid, so they are still very much in this point, but Renegades did get the cap back here, so Mezzer coming through. He does have an Earth Shatter at the ready if he wants to use it. Him and Rafa are still on this point. There will be a self-destruct on the point. Mezzer easily able to shield that one off, so Renegades got the point for a little bit. Liquid quickly taking it back, though, as they're at 25% and counting.
And now after that exchange, Team Liquid definitely looking like they're on top of the ultimate economy. They will have 4 for this next fight, a Nano Boost, an Earth Shatter, a Graviton. 2 of those, Graviton and Earth Shatter, immensely valuable for their crowd control and overall debilitating effects they can land on Renegades. Renegades with just a sound barrier to defend that and a whole hog coming out of Jesus.
Mezzer used that Earth Shatter. I'm not sure exactly what all he got in it, but Rafa now is going to have the nano boost quickly taking care of Sherlock, and he's looking for a little bit more here as he goes into the back. Him and AZK focusing down Mangachu. Beautiful focus fire, and now he wants a piece of Jesus, and indeed he will find it as he finds that frag, and that is now 60% for Liquid. Looking pretty good at the moment. And AZK, he's got that pulse bomb, and no Graviton, though, is going to be up for Liquid to combo it with. But I mean, if he can land that one on one of the tanks for an early pick, that would be beautiful. Mangachu on Pharah.
A little bit of damage and a pulse bomb on Mezzer will take him out of the equation. Or sorry, pulse bomb on Juvenile will take him out of the equation, but AZK picking up 3!
Baby, AZK with 3, make that 4 for AZK, the pulse bomb. And then, just focus fire down to finish him off. 5 in total for AZK as he picks up Jesus at the end of the fight. That's exactly what you have to be looking out for if you're Renegades, because once AZK gets going on Tracer, he will just mow through you. And now it is 99% for Liquid. Quickly getting onto the point here is Man of Snow, able to stall it for a little bit. Gets demech, now Juvenile has the nano boost. Mangachu on Pharah did take care of Dahang, so a 1-pick advantage, but now Mezzer using the Earth Shatter as he goes forward. Didn't get a whole lot. Actually did. He got 2 kills for himself. What am I saying? 3 for Mezzer right here, but Mangachu is still alive and well. Quickly, though, just as I say that, being taken out by ID. Got a couple kills before he went down. Renegades just might be able to get this point back. And Jesus is on it at the moment, though. Mezzer is still hanging around inside of there. Sherlocky going in deep for the kill.
Special Forces Sherlocky taking out Mezzer to retake them, or secure the point.
Oh, they retake it. Liquid with 99% though, and Juvenile going very aggressive. Doesn't pay for it, but very well could have. They got the sleep onto Rafa there, but he'll just get back, meet up with the rest of the team. And Mangachu with a barrage at the ready.
Liquid one capture away from closing out Village and tying up the score here on Nepal. They do have 3 ultimates, one of them a bomb combo and another a nano. That's a whole lot to work on, to work with on Renegades. And there comes Mangachu launching a barrage, picking up Dahang.
Good job on Dahang to be able to sleep him so he couldn't do even more to him. There is going to be the Graviton used onto the Liquid players, and Mangachu is still having just free reign right here. 3 kills on the fight for him. And that is going to help Renegades hang on here. Liquid still with some time to regroup and come back to the point for sure, but it's getting down to the wire for them.
Liquid burning the Graviton, though, in an uncertain situation, letting Renegades back into control of this stage. They are going to have 4 ultimates on their side, but we're going to see how they're going to string them together. Liquid trying to attest to the high ground.
This Earth Shatter is going to be huge for Mezzer. He needs to hit something off of this, and they're just about to have a sound barrier. AZK, or Jesus, excuse me, going in for the Pulse Bomb as he now works his way to the point, trying to focus down ID. Team Liquid with 2, Jur and Mangachu both go down, so definitely something for them to stand up and cheer about. Here comes the Earth Shatter amongst many kills for Liquid, and they should be able to take this one back. It is just Man of Snow left on the point. He's taken care of, and Jesus is still zipping around, but AZK finishes him off. Mangachu just trying to stall if he can for one of the other Renegades players to come back onto the point, but I don't think there's going to be anybody home. Juvenile finished off by AZK, and that will be a good response from Liquid. They get themselves back in and tie up Nepal here at 1-1.
Certainly a lot closer of a fight on Village compared to what we saw in Sanctum. AZK, though, again, after yesterday, he certainly turned it on, started playing Tracer at a much different level we've seen, and just a huge impact here on Village in particular.
You gotta watch out for AZK, man. The guy is a monster on Tracer. Good hit, scan, aim, so.
Taking communion there at the end.
Well, it looks as though for now he'll be. Well, he wanted 76 for a second. He'll be back on the Tracer again. I mean, I'd rather see him on that, though. You have to keep in mind the Mangachu Pharah is going to be out there again, so how effective will he be is really the question.
A real hard thing to deal with on Tracer. Your rewinds are sometimes so obvious for Pharah, and you can rewind right into a rock in the face, and that's not why you rewind.
Yeah, not at all, but Mangachu already just focusing down Minstrel right out of the bat, taking it to both supports. He nearly, luckily had a defense matrix in his face, luckily for Liquid at least. Rafa was able to keep his support alive, but Renegades are still finding the kills here in Liquid and getting shut down right off the bat, so it's time to regroup for Liquid. I'm thinking this Mangachu Pharah might be a bit of a problem, and yes, there we go, AZK making the switch.
Yeah, you had to see that coming after that last result.
Yep.
Mangachu almost cleaning up 3-4 people on his own. Renegades now with a nano boost. Let's see what Mangachu's done with that in the past, blocked with a barrage or not.
Juvenile is going to get the nano boost as he charged forward. What will he get off of it? Mangachu finishes off Mezzer. And now the hook out from Jesus. Takes down AZK. And Renegades cementing themselves on the point quite nicely. It's time to go back, take that high ground, and they wait for Mangachu to come back in. Liquid, they're still rocking AZK on that 76. They really need to make sure they're shutting down Mangachu, though, because you can't let that guy do whatever he wants. For sure, charging in his Mezzer, looking for a pin, didn't quite find it, and there will be the nano boost used onto Rafa, but so far there we go, as he takes down Sherlock. Sherlock is waiting for something. Liquid with 3 kills for themselves. AZK is the only one to fall on the side of Liquid, and they certainly have the numbers advantage to take this fight right here. Self-destruct down on the point. Rafa will get ejected from his suit because of it, but Man of Snow is still in for Renegades, just stalling out as long as he can, really, and just waiting for those respawns. ID uses the Graviton, though, onto all the Renegades players. Jur was taken down, and Juvenile, hanging on by the skin of his teeth, finished off by ID. So it is still a stall fest going on, though, from Renegades. Mangachu's in on the point, finally finished off by AZK, but Renegades really doing a good job of stalling that one out, and they put 91% on the board.
With how well they're stalling, they almost don't even need to fight. Just let it ride all the way up, and that's what they did. Liquid just now starting to get their points on the board. A surprising result from a fight that started out with a whiffed Earth Shatter by Mezzer, getting it blocked right at the last second there by Juvenile. Gonna put Renegades in position to basically match point. They've got 3, almost 4 ultimates on their side, but here comes a self-destruct out of Ro8. Will it find anybody? No, it's not gonna connect.
They use a sound barrier, Liquid, Minstrel using it preemptively, AZK getting the nano visor. Oh, Dahang getting hooked in by Jesus, though. That was a crucial pick. It doesn't matter, though, as Liquid are finding all the kills right here. Nearly a team wipe. Sherlocky was able to make it out, at least for the time being, but Liquid holds on to the point. They need to be just about perfect, really, if they want to take this stage of Nepal.
Yeah, Renegades, they've got enough time for 2 fights. They're 20% from Juvenile. If they wait to build that up to start things out, or really just find the right angle for him to get a solid fire strike, Renegades is going to have everything under the sun to work with. A barrage, a whole hog, a nano boost already coming out.
Here we go, Jesus with the whole hog and the nano boost getting put to sleep, though, by Dahang. It's a 1-for-1 trade to kick us off in this fight. Sherlocky gets ID as well, so this is now a 2-for-2 trade, and they're still duking it out on this point. It's a few down on each side, but it seems as though Liquid may be able to, well, just as I say that, they get another kill onto Rafa. It'll be down to the wire on this one. Pretty much one of the deciding fights. In the end, Renegades are starting to get the time down. Jesus getting another hook, but now he's isolated and finished off. Liquid coming back with a vengeance as Mezzer finds 2 for himself. AZK using that tack visor gets a couple on his own. The nano visor. Now it's going to be Sherlocky, one of the few left of Renegades. He runs onto the point, but gets annihilated as he flies in there. Now Man of Snow is really going to have to delay, but they do a good job of keeping him back. And that is Liquid now taking a 2-to-1 lead. They have match point.
Liquid turning around, delaying on their own long enough without even dying, some of them, to bring their entire team back to bear on that. Renegades not getting a lot out of a whole lot of ultimates. A number of those basically could have been used as solo ults and it would have came out with probably a better result. In some situations you can dump all of those and it can be messy, but you're still going to find your way out of it. But in that one, it was messy and they weren't finding the kills they needed to expand on.
Liquid had some trouble initially there. Mangachu playing the Pharah, but he got back into form quickly once AZK made some switches and they got the rest of the Liquid boys into it. Now Mangachu is going to be back on the Zarya for Sanctum. And it is triple tank for Liquid, quad tank for Renegades as they start to posture over on this pillar's side. Right away, Mezzer got hooked in. Now he has a biotic on himself. He's trying to keep himself alive, but ID and Mezzer have both fallen. Liquid respond with one as they take down Juvenile, but Renegades getting a early numbers advantage here, and they will push Liquid all the way back. This is the stage where Renegades pretty much dominated last time.
Very, very different first fight, but now back to a familiar position for Renegades holding the choke. However, they don't have that complete stack of ultimates they had last time to really budget this. So Liquid does have a few chances to get their way back into it. Renegades actually backing off to not, so they don't, because they don't have those ultimates to abuse. Liquid perhaps finding a little bit of movement here. Juvenile going down.
That's a very good first pick for Liquid and an opportunity for them to get in. No shield. Man of Snow is out of his mech, so that is 2 for them. Jesus gets hooked in, and now a really good opportunity for Liquid to quickly retake this point. They've gotten all sorts of kills. Jur going down right at the end for Renegades, so a quick response from Liquid there off of the dry push, and now they will have an opportunity to hold onto this. They're so far not playing as aggressive as Renegades did up into the choke. They're just playing over on this pillar side.
No, all they have is a self-destruct and a nano. Really be looking for a graviton and an earth shatter, really control that point as best as possible. Both of those can still work quite a bit, but looks like Liquid's going to back off and let some of that regenerate. Renegade's just not on the same page on that last defense.
And Juvenile with an Earth Shatter here. That could change the tide of this upcoming fight. He will use it, get some bodies on the ground from Liquid, and the Earth Shatter pays dividends for Renegades as Mezzer, AZK, and Dahang all go down, and Rafa will even get ejected from his mech. And that is looking like all Renegades to retake this point. Rafa's one of the few remaining boys left on it, as well as ID, and they are both quickly dispatched of. And now Renegades with a whole smorgasbord of ultimates at the ready.
A veritable cornucopia, you might say. Renegades They do have the Graviton they need to hold this choke quite well. Juvenile working on his Earth Shatter, but they still have a whole hog, a self-destruct. Now hold up. Here comes Liquid pouring in. They're going to get caught in the Graviton.
They have a lot of stuff there. There will be a self-destruct on top of that. Man of Snow gets 2 with it, and Juvenile Jesus pick up on a couple others alongside of that. 3 ultimates were used by Renegades right there. 3 or 4, but actually it was 4 for Renegades, but they will have an Earth Shatter and a Nano Boost coming up. Renegades, and sometimes that can be enough to take fights, but Liquid's got all 6 online.
I was going to say that was equal enough for Liquid to complete that set and generate the rest of them. Now they've got 6. Looks like it's their turn to take back the point.
It was good that they didn't use any ults in the previous fight, and look at this. Now they can just waltz into the point, use a few ultimates. They've only used 3, and that's good because it's enough to most likely win this fight, as they've already gotten themselves 4 or 5 kills here, and it's going to be a quick response for them to take this point. Renegades did get themselves up to 92%, but good management from Liquid there. They will still have a Sound Barrier, Earth Shatter, and a Self-Destruct to work with going into the next fight. So they didn't invest too much trying to take that point, which is what you like to see.
Liquid has a lot of tools. They've got a Sound Barrier for the defensive side, or perhaps a strange offense in some situations. An Earth Shatter and a Self-Destruct. We've seen a number of teams pair those together several times. Renegades looking to get a leg back into this fight. They're 1 capture away.
Rafa sends his Self-Destruct into the back of the point. Juvenile getting the
Nano
boost. That's a massive Earth Shatter out from Juvenile. What can he find on top of that, though? Tahang keeping the heals up well, but inevitably taken down by Juvenile. And they're still duking it out here in the corner. Renegades are finding the kills. Liquid really needs to hold on here, but they don't have the numbers to do so. Minstrel is one of the few players left in it from Liquid. Rafa finally going down, and Minstrel gets taken out by that Fire Strike of Juvenile. ID making a quick switch to Tracer. Needs to try and get back to that point. AZK has a whole hog, and ID will go ahead and get on the point. Tahang was taken down by Juvenile yet again, and this is bad news for Liquid. I think we are going to see this one tied up at 2-2 as the Sound Barrier comes out from Renegades, and they are able to hold on here, finding all sorts of kills. Juvenile was booped, but there's no one else around for Liquid. Try and hold on here. It's going to be 2-2. One last round, one last stage of Nepal to decide who takes this match.
Devastating Earth Shatter from
It was huge.
From Renegades, bringing it back. Juvenile finding, looks like 4 or 5 in that.
Yeah, he had free reign. That is just huge in terms of Earth Shatters. You can't really get much bigger than that. There wasn't a whole lot of direct follow-up after that, but I mean, Juvenile and Man of Snow really made things happen, and he builds another 50% right after that.
Nano boosted Rhine swinging a hammer around in a bunch of people. Whether they die or not is going to get a second Earth Shatter back so fast. It was a nice play by Renegades to keep that advantage. Now it's all tied up, and we're heading back to this stage here. Team Liquid, that's going to be tricky.
I mean, they had success earlier. Let's see. It all comes down to this, folks, to decide who takes the match. Tied up at 1 in maps, tied up 2-2 on Nepal, as Jesus goes down to ID right off the start. Liquid with that 1-player advantage, they are looking to capitalize off of it. AZK is playing that 76. Tahang and Rafa both falling, though. Juvenile quickly responded on by Mezer as he gets taken down. So Liquid looking to re-engage onto the point here as Mangachu taken out by AZK. He's not playing the fair this time. AZK wrapping around to the backside of the point to find Man of Snow as well, who was outside of his mech. Jesus with the hook, though. Finally putting AZK's reign of terror to an end, and Jesus with 3 for himself, just wreaking havoc on this point. Oh my goodness, it's the Jesus show right here, as no one has been able to actually cap this point off yet. Finally, I think we will be seeing, yes, Renegades are the first to strike here.
Renegades, they have a nano boost. They're working on a couple other ultimates that aren't quite there yet. They'll happen probably 1.5 fights from now. Liquid with just Attack Visor, but Mezer getting very close to an Earth Shatter. Those two should be enough for them to take it back. Either one used independently can get the return they want on this stage.
There will be a nano boost used for Renegades. It's given Juvenile, and Mezer went down as the first pick in this fight. Liquid has lost 2, so I think that's going to call for a reset for them, The Renegades are able to hold steady here, 30% and counting. They really only had to use the nano boost on that fight, and it was enough for them to hold on. So both teams are going to have a lot of ultimates. This is going to be a chaotic fight coming up between both sides.
Yeah, with AZK perhaps engaging in a fight and trying to find an angle for AZK to come in with attack on the back line might have been their best play to push the economy back in their favor, but it's a dicey situation. Both teams holding on to quite a bit right now, and Renegades Juvenile getting very close to a Graviton, or Graviton coming out from both sides, sorry.
There is going to be a self-destruct in the back. ID goes down, AZK responds as he gets Mana Snow. Liquid with 2 here. Now Jesus using that whole hog, just trying to keep the Liquid players at bay, but all the kills are going in favor of Liquid at the moment, so I think they should be able to retake here quite easily. Mangachu is dispatched of easily on that point, but Man of Snow back in, just wants to try and stall a little bit more, get even more percentage for Renegades. Why not? Juvenile and Jur both taken care of, but Man of Snow is flying around this point, still has yet to be killed. Finally taken care of, but that allows Renegades to get up to 90%.
Yeah, they're one possession away, so Renegades should take this back. If they don't, it's going to be a huge success on Team Liquid's part. Both sides burning almost every ultimate they have, but Rafa's self-destruct versus Sherlocky's nano boost. That's honestly in the favor of Renegades, but in the dry scenarios where nobody's had a whole lot of economy so far on this stage, Team Liquid seems to continuously come out on top.
Here's a nano boost out from Renegades as they look to retake the point and grab the match for themselves. If they can win this fight, they'll be able to do so. It's all Liquid though at the moment, 3 kills in their favor, and there's really nothing Renegades can do at this point. It's only Man of Snow that can deal sufficient damage. AZK is going to use Attack Visor just for good measure as he takes down Jur, deals a whole lot of damage to Man of Snow, but forces Renegades to back up. Liquid holding on for the time being, but as we were saying, Renegades, one team fight is all they need.
Yeah, Renegades with an Earth Shatter. Juvenile, he made that one team fight matter last time. So Sherlocky probably should have held on to the nano boost in that situation. Liquid, they've got an Earth Shatter of their own. Mezzer, you know he can find the right targets.
Ooh, Minstrel, he knew it was coming. Juvenile gets the Earth Shatter, takes down the support of charge all the way into the back to get AZK. That was just about maximum charge range. So unfortunate for AZK. I can feel the salt flowing. I know it would be for me, but that is going to be a few kills. It doesn't matter. Liquid holds on regardless, and they're at getting up to 75% now. It's pretty much going to come down to one fight to see who takes this one.
Unless Renegades can make a hero play like they did last time, Liquid's going to take this map. They're playing better in all of these situations with a whole lot of ultimates, but Mangachu now getting a Graviton at the perfect time. If ID can't respond with his own very quickly, or Minstrel with a sound barrier, it's definitely going to go back into Renegades' favor.
Oh, there's a couple of key ultimates here right at the end. There will be a Graviton. Mangachu's Graviton gets eaten up, and that is crucial. You needed that Graviton right there. Juvenile goes down to Rafa to start things off. A one-player advantage for Liquid. Now ID using his Graviton. Rafa with 3, and this should be all Liquid on this point. Mezzer able to take out Jur, and there's no one from Renegades home to defend the point. Liquid able to hold on. What a play for them to stay in it. Mangachu's Graviton getting eaten at a time they needed it most. Liquid able to take the series 2-1. Oh boy.
I have never been so happy to be wrong.
Liquid bouncing back here, and Renegades starting to have some issues, it seems like. It's taking them longer to get there. They're not getting the wins in the end, and they now have 2 losses.
I mean, they had a good game overall for the most part. There's still a couple things here and there. Honestly, at the end, though, they needed that Graviton. Like, that was, you know, that was crucial for them, and Mangachu just throwing it right into Rafa's defense matrix, and then ID, boom, tossing his own Graviton out there. And then it was all Rafa from there, just picking up 3 or 4 in the middle of that fight. But, I mean, that's the thing. One ultimate like that, getting eaten, can totally change the tide of the fight.
Especially when it's as important as Graviton.
Do you think Rafa knew